So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are, and welcome to another album review of the Shield Dude on a Couch. And today I'm reviewing the album number 6 by Puerto Rican trap reggaeton singer Bad Bunny. And I reviewed his last album, and yes, I know this is not rock album or anything like that, but I can, of course, I review different stuff on this channel, and let me explain the hat. So the hat, this is the typical hat that the Jíbaro from Puerto Rico wears. So that's a typical hat for, Puerto Ricans in the countryside when they go outside. It's a typical hat. And we have the Coqui frogs, which are from Puerto Rico. And yeah, this is an album that the day that this album is dropped is on the 5th of January. And it's important for a few reasons because January 6th in Puerto Rico is El Día de los Reyes Magos, Three Kings Day. And this is a Christmas tradition, and this is our Christmas tradition, not Santa Claus. That was imposed, but this is Puerto Rico. So this is every year we celebrate El Día de los Reyes Magos. So Bad Bunny put out this album today in La Víspera de los Reyes as a gift to all. So yeah, this is an album that the last Bad Bunny album I didn't like that much because I think it was too monotone in like sound. But on this record, this is the album cover. And I know a lot of people may say, like, yeah, what does this album cover represent? But if you're from Puerto Rico, this is very symbolic. You see two white chairs, but to me, when I see those two white chairs, and I see the los plátanos and the plantains, I think of a party in the mountains, and that's the chair that we all sat on and drink and had fun. So uh, I like the Bad Bunny album, Un Verano Sin Ti. That album felt a lot like the Puerto Rican summer. This album feels more like a Christmas in Puerto Rico. I know this is not a Christmas album by any means, but it has a lot of like the musical flair of like the type of music that we play in Puerto Rico at Christmas time. So Christmas time in Puerto Rico is the longest Christmas in the whole world. Right now, a lot of you're like, Christmas is done. Not in Puerto Rico. Christmas ends after January like 20th, where here in Puerto Rico, we have las fiestas de la calle San Sebastián, and that's the last party, and that is when Christmas ends as a whole. So we have a long Christmas, and Los Reyes Magos is important. So yeah, this album cover is very simple, but if you're from Puerto Rico, you will get it instantly. So this album is 17 tracks, and it's an hour and 2 minutes. And it's a shorter album for Bad Bunny because their last two albums is like 21 songs. His last two albums are like 21 songs and an hour and 20 minutes, which I thought it's very long for this type of music. So I think on this album, I think he trimmed a little bit of the fat. And also something that he did on this album that he didn't do on his previous record is that he brought back more sounds from Puerto Rico. He brought salsa, he brought bomba y plena, reggaeton, obviously, mixed with some electronic sounds because his last album felt more electronic and more like hip hop, and it felt a little bit foreign. And this one, he's coming back to his roots and what he did in Un Verano Sin Ti, which makes a lot of genres, and it worked for him. So yeah, this album, I gotta say, the first two singles that they released, I thought they were catchy. Before the album was released, Bad Bunny had like a short film, and it stars Jacobo Morales. Jacobo Morales is a very important director and actor from Puerto Rico. And that short film, it's really powerful because it gives a lot of the themes that are on this record. So this is a record. The record is called Debí tirar más fotos, which translates to I should have taken more pictures. And yeah, there's some party songs on this album, but there's some serious subject matter on a few songs. like Bad Bunny tackles a lot of like gentrification issues that are happening in Puerto Rico. A lot of like people from United States that come here and don't pay taxes and make living more expensive for us local people. So it's very important topics mixed in with, like his usual stuff. So let me talk about some tracks. So the album starts with a song called Nueva York, which means Nueva York, New York. But we instead of our R's, we put L's sometimes when we talk. And this song uh has some hip hop and like reggaeton beat, but also like it feels like very of Puerto Rico. And it's all about, leaving to New York, which is like a second home for Puerto Ricanos, Puerto Ricans. But it's like he's like, oh damn, but it's so cold, and this song is important because a lot of like people in first of all, like in the 30s and 40s, migrated from Puerto Rico to New York, and that's why there's a lot of like Puerto Ricans in New York. They call themselves New Yorkers, so it's an important track. But then he has his usual tracks where he's like horny, like voy a llevarte para Puerto Rico. He's like he met a girl in Brickell and he's gonna bring her to Puerto Rico and they're gonna party and all that good stuff. But then he has a song like the first one, Baile Inolvidable, which means like a dance that you won't forget. It brings like the salsa element. It's very danceable. And if you lived in Puerto Rico, you listen to salsa growing up, even if I can't dance because I suck at dancing. But it's a very important music from Puerto Rico, and I'm telling you, it's a song that gets into you and you want to move. So I thought that was very good. Then he has a few tracks with some guest stars like Perfumito Nuevo, Vueltita. Perfumito Nuevo is like a new perfume. And on that one, it's like with Reynao. And again, the horniness comes in and he's like, I got a new perfume, baby, smell me. And it's a very sensual, sexual track. Vueltita, it means like, that's like when you go in your car and you go like, just drive around. And that's something, we did something here in Puerto Rico, San Juan, that it calls La Vuelta del Pendejo, where you drove on your car, but you never got out. So something like that. So if you'll get it if you're from Puerto Rico. So the album, even though it has those tracks, it has other important tracks. So this is the back of the album where it has all the tracks. And this says, este proyecto es dedicado a todos los puertorriqueños y puertorriqueñas en el mundo entero. So he's saying that this album is dedicated to every Puerto Rican all around the world. And it has the coquí frog there, and it says seguimos aquí, which means we're still here. So after that, you have like your party anthems like Belda. That's a very like reggaeton driven track. Like it sounds like very reggaeton from the 90s. Then you have like a song like El Club, and El Club, which was one of the singles, is all about like, it's funny because the song starts like, I'm in the club, I'm having fun. But then all of a sudden he's like, what is my ex doing? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like Bad Bunny, are you like the Taylor Swift of reggaeton? Come on, like there's a lot of songs on this album where he's reminiscing about an ex, uh, which is something that he also did in Un Verano Sin Ti. So yeah, El Club is like it's fun because it's a club song, but then he's like, I wonder if my ex, she's sleeping, she's with another man, has she forgotten me? So it's funny because I could imagine like him being in the club and all of a sudden, I'm alone. I'm not with my ex. Woohoo. But it's fun track. Then you have a track like Que tú te crees, which means like what do you think? Who do you think you are? And this song reminded me lyrically of like Drake Hotline Bling when he's reminiscing about an ex that he used to have sex with, but now she doesn't call him. And when he calls her, she's all pissed. Like Bad Bunny and Drake, they moved on, man. They're fucking someone else. So yeah, you get over it, man. But it had like that type of vibe to it. Then you have a song called Boquete, which means a hole. So let me explain this to you, to my American cultures. Uh, you think that you have uneven roads in the States. When I lived in Florida, I said they said uneven road. I'm like, the fuck do you know about uneven road? Come to Puerto Rico. We have some huge potholes sometimes in the street, and you have to, like, when you're driving, you have to zigzag not to get them. So what Bad Bunny does on this track, he takes that, the imagine of like a boquete, a hole, and he's comparing it to an ex that he's trying to swerve and forget her, like you're trying to swerve your car and not hit that pothole. So basically it's too slow, so it's okay. And then he goes into more of a reggaeton song with close friends. But then he goes into a song called Turista, which has like that traditional like cuatro puertorriqueño, which is like a smaller type of guitar with less chords. And that's the type of music that you listen to a lot in Christmas time. And it's all about saying Turista is like, he's reminiscing about an ex that even though she was with him for not a long time, she felt like a tourist to him because she didn't even know him. So I think it's also can be used to tourists that come here in Puerto Rico and think they know Puerto Rico and they don't. So that's a good one. Then you have Café con Ron, which has Los Pleneros de la Cresta. So Pleneros is a traditional music from Puerto Rico, and bomba y plena, it comes from Africa, and it's a lot of time. It's very something that they play here at weddings and also at Christmas time. It's played all the time. So that's a great one, and it goes into the other single, Pitorro de Coco. And Pitorro de Coco again brings those traditional Puerto Rican sounds, and you feel like you're in the mountains, like just enjoying the breeze of the Puerto Rican Navidad, Christmas. So, and on that one, Pitorro de Coco, he's reminiscing again about an ex that last year he kissed, and I'm like, I'm not kissing her this year, and I'm here getting drunk with Pitorro de Coco, and who knows what she's doing. And Pitorro is a very strong liquor from the Puerto Rico, where they do in the mountains, and I'm telling you, it's very strong. I think it would be like the equivalent of moonshine or something like that. So yeah, that's another great song. And then you go into a song that I think it's the most important song lyrically on the record, and it's Lo que pasó a Hawaii, which translates to what happened to Hawaii. And all people is like, what happened to Hawaii? Well, Hawaii used to be free, then they became a state, and they lost a lot. Even though they gained things, they basically lost a lot of their culture and things. And what Bad Bunny is doing here, he's saying that we don't want what happened in Hawaii to happen to Puerto Rico. And I think it's a very important song. And I really related to the message because, like, yeah, it's good that we get more modernized, but we don't want to lose our culture. So I think that it's the most important song lyrically on this record, and it really hits home. And that song goes well with the short film that they did with Jacobo Morales, because it touches upon those themes of gentrification and and us losing. Like, there's a part on the song that they're saying they're taking our rivers, they're taking our beaches, and they're like, we what more can they take from us? So it's a very great song that many of you will listen to this album if you're not from Puerto Rico. It's like, oh, it's a party record, but no, there's some serious subject matter like on this song, and this is a great song. I tell you, the best song on this record. But then it goes into more like AO, like more reggaeton party type of vibes. And the other song, DTMF, Debí Tirar Más Fotos, again, it brings that salsa, plena flavor. And it's all about, like, I should have taken more pictures and had more fun. It's a very joyful track. And the album ends with La Mudanza, which means like La Mudanza is when you move. And also this song touches upon a lot of like Puerto Ricans that have left the island after hurricanes and everything. And it's like, I don't want to go, like, come back. So it's another great track that brings along the message. Like this is an album that even though it's fun at times, it has a serious message behind it. And I think this makes Bad Bunny stand out from other reggaeton artists. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Bad Bunny and the record Debí Tirar Más Fotos? Uh, Listen to comment what are your favorite tracks, and obviously if you're not from Puerto Rico, now you get a background so you can understand more of the themes that are covered on this record. It's not only about being horny and his ex. There's more stuff beneath it. So yeah, I think this record has more soul than his last record didn't have. So to me, it's like as good as Un Verano Sin Ti, even though I think there's some tracks on that record that are more catchy to me. But I like it that it feels like it catches the essence of a Puerto Rico Christmas. So yeah, comment down below, Couchers, and let me know what you think of this record. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.